Greetings, you beautiful souls. Welcome to the official Master Force Coach podcast. I'm Mushim Suit, your guide to this transformative journey. At Master Force International, we believe that greatness resides within each and every one of us, waiting to be unleashed. Whether you're a seasoned leader, an aspiring entrepreneur, or simply seeking to elevate your life, this podcast is your sanctuary for inspiration, motivation, and actionable insights. Join us every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern as we dive deep into the art and science of leadership, personal growth, and the power of the human spirit. Each week, we'll explore a new theme, from mastering the art of communication to cultivating resilience in times of adversity. Alongside special guests and Master Force coaches, trailblazers, visionaries, and thought leaders, we'll uncover the secrets to unlocking your spiritual, personal, and professional success. Thank you for being here, and remember, we are ascending.
Okay, hello, cosmic weather lovers and loveettes. It is Mother Mecca 115 with the Cosmic Weather Report for week of April 7th, 2024. So happy Sunday. So we're going to get started. And well, I always start with the Destiny card of the day. For April 7th, the Destiny card is an Ace of Spades. When I see this card, when I give readings, I'm like, oh my goodness, here it comes. I know something big and major is coming because, come on, it's an ace. But the Ace of Spades, what it means in general is a means. It means like a secret, right? Some type of secret. So it was the emblem of many old secret societies, key to mysteries. It represents the truth behind the veil of the illusion. And then it's also a symbol for the study of esoteric knowledge and mystical wisdoms. We're going to have a little bit more about that too. It's going to continue. So with that, the traditional card is for change, death, and transformation. Now, death and rebirth is not what you're thinking. Like, oh, somebody died. Not like that. That's going to be death and rebirth within yourself. Things sometimes that we do need to die. It doesn't need to keep going with us. And we need to have a rebirth, okay? Another part of this card is a desire for work. So you're going to get some newness, probably in a job or, your occupation with getting a new job or occupation. So Ace of Spades is about changing. It's about that transformation. And it's all going to be with newness for you and the best opportunity, which leads us straight into tomorrow, which we will have a new moon on April 8th at 11:24, that's 8:21 a.m. PDT. So our time, if you're in Central, that's going to be at 1:21, okay? And of course, Eastern at 12:21. So with this new moon, of course, remember I told you about that newness. See, all of this is going all together. So bring it on in with the Ace of Spade, when they're talking about that newness and transformation. Here we go with a new moon. And when that happens, is newness that can impact, but this is some newness that can impact the rest of your year, because when it's coming about with our, all of this is our newness, the spring, this is when it really starts, okay? So this quarter is what you do in this quarter is going to impact you for the rest of this year, going back to April, okay? Now, It's going to also help you with some new pathways. You're going to be able to take new and few risks. Remember, we told you with the Mercury retrograde, because we can't forget about that, because that's still in to April 25th. It said not to take big risks, but you can, with this new moon, take in some new and just a few risks, okay? And let your inner child come out. You need to do things with young children. I'm taking my grandsons. I love to tell them we have a surprise, but I love to do it. Okay. But I'm going to spend time with them, right? Because when you're spending time with younger people, it helps you to tap into that inner child that you need to come out. So you're able to play with them, get on their level, and things like that. And that's going to be perfect during this time. So make sure that you are really going deeper into yourself. We're going to move on because we got a lot that's going on. We're still at April 8th, okay? Because not only is it going to be a new moon, it's totally eclipsed. We're also going to have a solar eclipse. And when that occurs, it's when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, and it creates darkness, right? But don't think about darkness. It does not, because we associate darkness with evil and being scared and being afraid. But this is the perfect time for transformation and healing. And that is what all of this is about. Because if you are not healing in the process of newness, you're going to keep bringing, and see, with Mercury retrograde, it brings back all different things if you allow that. So if you're not healed from certain situations and you're bringing in newness, it's like covering up a wound and it's not going to heal because you're just compiling things on top of it. So you don't want to do that. Okay. So get outside if you can to see the eclipse. Make sure you have solar eclipse glasses and things like that. Make sure you have the proper wear. You can look that up, because you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself. Now, Mars is going to conjunct with Saturn on April 10th, and that's going to be in Pisces, okay? So your workload on April 10th can possibly be heavier. Issues with coworkers, honey. Okay, be prepared for that may arise. Equipment might break down. Remember, we still got the retrograde going on. And so your equipment may break down, but this is what you need to do to compact and battle all of that. Boost your immune system. And guess what? When I talk about the health tip of the week, we'll be able to explain how you can do that more. Okay. So you want to make sure that you understand everything's going on. Don't get into the, oh, woe is me. And listen, when the workload is heavier, accept it and be happy about it. Because guess what? That's going to bring in more positive energy to yourself. When these coworkers come for you, be like Michelle Obama. When they go low, you go high. Okay. Don't give in to it. Smile through it, because you know what? You already know what's going to happen. That's why it's important for on Sundays to go ahead and listen to the weather report of the week, because it kind of give you a little opening to see what's going to go on, and you can prepare yourself for it. Make sure on the 10th you wake up bright and early and you feel rested and beautiful. And when people come to you, you like, oh, no problem. And you move on. Okay. Now, these are some other things that you can do. I was telling you some things that you can do. Make realistic assessments of your health habits. Okay. We are not being as healthy as we can be. Now, I'm vegan, but I still have to check myself, because a lot of vegan people, they eat a lot of processed foods and things like that. And you're thinking, because, oh, I'm eating vegan food, I'm not eating meat. But if you're eating a lot of processed food, you're not getting your water intake. That's something that I have to definitely work on, and getting your fruit in, because that's the real H3O that you need. That's what you have to do. So think about those healthy habits. I want you to really sit down and think about it. Now, confront any medical challenges that you have. You feel like you're not working out, you're not doing these things. Review the exercise commitment. This is the time to get back started with these commitments that you said. Because remember, we had January where you guys called the new year and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. But then this is the time when spring comes, we kind of fall off. So go ahead and review those commitments. And again, remember, I talked about rest and relaxation. You want to make sure that you are getting that rest and relaxation. Remember, I told you guys on April 3rd, make sure that you went to bed early and make sure that you really, really get you some rest. Man, I can remember on the night of April 2nd, I could not stay asleep. But you know what I did? I didn't get out that bed. I laid there because I still felt like it was some rest that I was getting. And so give extra attention to your pets, which is so wonderful because tomorrow I will be able to get back with my bearded dragon. It's our classroom pet. He's been staying at the house with one of the students in the class, and the mommy loves him so much. So I know that he's going to be well when he gets back with us on tomorrow. Then also the sun and Mercury is going to have a conjunction on April 11th, and this is going to provide clarity and perspective. Now, remember I was telling you when you're doing retrograde, you want to do your reads, and this is so perfect because you're going to redefine or revise your priorities and make to-do lists. So you may want to go back over this portion of the podcast because you want to make sure that you make a to-do list for all these things that I mentioned because you want to be prepared. So 4/11, beautiful day, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. And hear what I told you about the healthy tip of the week, right? You want to eat or drink lion's mane. And lion's mane is a mushroom, okay? And it's very, very delicious and powerful for you. So it helps regulate blood sugar. It reduces high blood pressure. It promotes healthy energy levels and combats fatigue. It helps prevent excess blood lipid accumulation. It slows biological aging. It protects the liver health and protects kidney health. That anything you're doing in that realm is going to also boost your immune system. Okay, because it's by drinking or eating the lion's mane, now making those as mushroom tacos, that is delicious, honey. So make sure that you get that done as well. Now, before we move on to for me to tell you how to contact me and all those good things that I have going on coming up in April 20th, I'm going to read some Qiana cards, and she's our speaker of today. And it just was like God was saying, do Qiana cards, because each week I try to give, to meet people where they are. I try to give a different format or a different way to express cards, right? So the first one that I pulled, it goes very well with today. What I realize is that each experience shapes me and molded me into the person I am today. So remember, we got those new experiences that's coming. Don't be afraid also to go back, because that's the inner child right here. That's going back with the inner child because it says each experience. So go back to some of those inner child experiences and see what was going on and remember how it shaped you. That's good. The old you, we're still going down this path, doesn't have the capacity to hold your new spiritual development. Your old container was too small and broken. So you don't have to keep hounding in on that, because remember, you're doing some reflection and you're going back to the inner child, but you're not going back to say, oh, woe is me. Not that part. You want to go to the happy part. And the last one is saying, I am brave. I have strength in my spirit that I can't even fathom yet. I am a warrior. I'll keep fighting and keep loving me. I got this. And that was all from Qiana said. Those are her personal cards. She literally made that deck, and I got it when she first had it on sale, right? Now, how you can contact me. I am actually, and I will next time, because I will have a week, but I'll post my flyer in here. On April 20th, I will be hosting a healing event. And 420 is a high day. So I said, let's get naturally high, because we're going to be promoting healthy teas, healthy juices, and healthy smoothies, as well as healthy treats for you to get. So we're asking for a prepaid donation of $20 that gives you in raffles, it gives you snacks and just different things if you prepay it. And then again, I'm Mother Mecca 115 LLC. You can contact me by text 708-253-8795. I'm on Facebook as Mecca C. Eves and TikTok as Mother Mecca 115. Again, I really enjoyed the weather, cosmic weather today with you for this entire week. So lovers and lovettes, I'll see you again next week. Peace.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of Master Force Coaches podcast. And we are doing a wonderful 12-week series called We Love to Read. And I hope you've been following us, because the coaches have been doing a wonderful job sharing their favorite books. And tonight we have one of my special books being shared by one of my special coaches, Qiana Thompson. So I want you to sit back. Actually, I do want you to go get a pen and paper so you can take some notes, because this is really a great book. All right, now let her tell you all about it. So I'm going to quickly share my screen, and then I'll bring her right in. Oh, so now go ahead, Qiana. Before you start, I would love for you to tell people a little bit about yourself. Give them a broadcast, of who you are. And I want them to, and well, no, that would take the whole podcast. So just give a little, because you just out there, you do so much. So just tell them a little bit so they can understand why this book is so impactful for you and the work that you do with other people.
Yes, thank you, Moo, so much for being here and doing this podcast. You were like right on it. Somebody said we should do a Master First podcast. It was like, oh, say less, we got it. And you've been rocking and rolling. I've been watching and following the podcast so far with the books, and it's been amazing. So thank you first and foremost. I'm Qiana Thompson. I'm the owner of Evolve with Qiana. It's a solution-focused therapy agency with 100% satisfaction and building quality, passionate relationships. I am a Scorpio sun, Aquarius moon with a Leo rising. I'm an Ace of Diamond Destiny card. I'm an Earth horse. In Chinese astrology, I just found out my animal primal astrology is a dragonfly. So,
My dragonfly earring.
oh, dang. I actually love dragonflies. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's so nice. And so yes, I've been deep diving doing things. I've been a certified master force life coach since about 2014. I became an executive coach a few years later after that. So I teach the coaches as well. I brought in a few coaches and trained them. So I'm just excited to be out here doing this good work with you, Mo.
Yes, I'm excited too. I love the work that we do, and I really do appreciate your passion for making a difference for so many people. But you know what else I enjoy? I enjoy that you keep doing the work yourself. That's
Yes.
really probably the most inspiring thing for me, for most of the executive coaches. Many of you continue, we just all in this together now.
Yes, the work continues. And that's the beauty of it, because in order to, for me, I believe in order to help people, like my life is literally, a lead by example type of life. Like you don't have to listen to anything I say, but you watch what I do, and you
Yeah.
will see me applying the modality. You'll see me doing the work. You'll see me with the books, right? You'll see
Yeah.
me with the coaches. So, like living a life, like doing a thing, actually, moving forward and evolving, and that helps me help other people to evolve, and it gives me a different type of empathy and compassion too, because I've been there, done that, and I can say, hey, don't take the don't take the rough road if you don't have to, because
If you
sometimes
don't have to, let me break it
yeah,
down for you. I can get you to the other
exactly.
side a lot quicker.
Exactly, Mo. Like there's some people who that's their plight. I feel like I'm one of those people, right? Like I'm like that's my job is to go the hard route so that I can trailblaze the path for others to come through much more smoothly. So if I can
Absolutely.
help people, it's like, hey, come this path. I've already did the work, and this is what you have to do, and you can do it with a little bit of help and guidance.
Yes, wonderful. So now let us get into the people of the lie. What was your inspiration for reading this book?
Moo, as always, is my hard head, right? It's like, you recommended this book, each and every recommended this book, and I was like, okay, like I'll get to it because we obviously there are a lot of books at Master Course between the coaches. There's tons and tons of books, right? And I was like, okay, I'll read it. And then I was reading it and it just like drew me in. I felt like I wrote the book. It's one of those books that I was like, dang, this is about my life. Like I could have wrote this, right? And I
Yes.
learned so much about myself, how to help my clients, how to just be a better person in the world, how to have a little bit more compassion and empathy for people, and how not to get attached to people's behaviors.
Yeah,
So I definitely was inspired to read
yeah.
this book.
And
Yeah.
I like how you said that, you were hard-headed about it. You were like slow to move on it. And spirit kept saying what? Get the book.
Get the book.
Get the book.
Get the book.
And
Get the
then when you
book.
got it, you were like, oh,
Yeah, I was like, oh, he wrote this for me. Got it.
I had to get the book.
I was like, okay, got it, got it. Yeah, it was great, great book. People of the Lie, The Hope for Healing Human Evil. I still have my copy. It's beat up, it's written in,
Yes.
and highlighted. Like it's definitely a
Yes.
resource for me. It's definitely a resource guide, like a study guide.
Yes. Now, how did it impact you? What give us some examples of the impact that it made on you? Like what was going on before that when you read the book, it really shed some light on it for you?
So I think the biggest thing with me, with the book, it's twofold. It's both personal and professional because he writes a lot about psychotherapy inside the book as coming from a psychotherapist, as having clients, and then also the personal just side of life. And he mixes it with like religion and spiritual beliefs. And so for me at the time that I, started with Master Force and like, got my master's in community counseling, that whole 2011 to 2014 era was a lot of awakening, like 2010 through about 2015.
Mm.
Well, till now, but that
Right. It's still awakening, right?
it's still awakening. But that particular period was really eye opening because I had just finished, going through a rigorous master's program for learning psychotherapy. And then I did the master for to learn how to be executive coach. And then I got this book and kind of like put some things in perspective. And at the time that I got my master too, I also had kind of got called back into church too, like
Mm.
a feeling. And so this book kind of like brought all of it
Full
full
circle.
circle for
Yeah.
me, and kind of showed me some things to look at in my life, both personally and professionally as a therapist. Like, am I doing the best work in my career? Am I doing the best work in my life?
Yes.
So yeah, it is. It's an amazing book, but it's not an easy book though either. So this is probably one of the tougher reads, in my tough read pal. You know how you have some easy read, like, oh, it's an easy read, you could probably get through it in,
No,
a
this
couple
is one of
hours.
those books you're going to pick up and put down, pick up and put down. You're going to highlight, underline, right in the side of it, come back to it.
Exactly, Mo. Grab dictionaries,
Back
grab the Bible.
dictionaries.
Like,
Yes.
you have to have reference books to go along. Like,
Yep.
it does. It's some work. This book, it's some work. It's some work with it. And so it did take me a nice while to get through it, but I did read it because I studied it. You could probably read it fast, but I studied it because
Yeah.
he used a lot of words. I was like, what is that? Like, what? And so I was like, literally getting the dictionary and looking up the word and writing it in the book and say, oh, okay, getting the Bible because he was referencing things. And I was like, oh, let me see what. So yeah, it was not an easy read. Physically, right? Like educational wise, but also spiritually, right? Having to sit with that, having to sit with healing human evil because I'm always my first client. Like you say, I'm always doing the work, right? And so one of my models is you got to do the work. And
Yeah.
so he points to a lot of that inside the book, with he said we become evil by attempting to hide ourselves. So my first like gem that I think that I got from the book was focusing inward. Because he talked a lot about how we just hide from, ourselves. And that's what evil looks like. That's what evil does, wearing that mask or, hiding who we are.
Yeah.
Trying to be perfect, knowing, whatever faults that we have. The dark. Nobody wants to show that. Everybody wants to show, oh, light, light, light. And even now, looking at it today, even the whole love and light. Like I love love and light, of course, but we know there's no light without dark.
That's right.
And so to only portray one thing is to act like, hey, love, 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 light, light, light. But where's the dark, dark, dark? Where's the evil, evil, evil? What does that look like? Do I just ignore that? Do I embrace that? What do I do with it? And so this book lets us know like that's what people do. They run from it, they hide from it, they distract from it. And so a lot of times when we're not focused inward, we're distracted by other things around us. So he shows a lot of examples of that.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Qiana, because I was trying to remember. I don't even remember how this book came across to me because so many books are just, it's the way the universe ministers to me, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
do remember I read it. I remember being 23 when I read this book. And I remember it being so hard, like you said. I mean, hard to the fact that it almost felt like it crushed me, right? There was a crushing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it was the awareness was so keen. But one of the things that it pointed out that made a difference for me was it spoke a lot about how adults will literally crush the spirit of children to
Oh.
put their light out. And they want to put their light out because they do not want to be seen as someone who is ignorant, unknowledgeable, not put together, right? They don't want to, like you said, they're hiding themselves, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you have a child that's in the space that's asking you questions, that's brilliant in what they do. They're not going to acknowledge that child because that child is making them feel a certain way about who they are, right?
Yep.
And so I grew up thinking that my whole family hated me. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up
Mm-hmm.
thinking that I was hated because nobody would notice anything that I did, right? When I read this book at 23, I was like, wow. I was able to reset my love for my family and start to try to love them, understanding now that
Mm-hmm.
they were
Mm-hmm.
just people who were afraid of my light.
Yep. Yep.
And I mean, that makes
The
a huge difference.
It does. I actually have that highlighted mode. See how we know we in sync. The
Okay.
most typical victim of evil is a child.
What?
This is to be expected because children are not only the weakest and most vulnerable members of our society, but also because parents wield the power over the lives of their children that is essentially absolute.
Hmm.
So yeah. Get that
Yes.
highlighted right here. Yeah. So that was eye opener for me with parenting, and of course being having parents, right?
Having
Um
parents, being a parent. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So being both, so giving grace to
Yep.
myself, giving grace to my mom, giving grace to her mom, right? My grandmother, my great grandmother, because
Yes,
I knew
because
both.
I still swear they did the best they could with what they were dealing with. I have
Yep.
no regrets about how I was parenting or anything because I get it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And getting it now is the work,
it's the
right?
word.
Because you know what you know when you know it.
Yeah.
And so getting this book for you more than 23, I had to be like in my late 20s or something like that. Like maybe that's like I'm I was 28. So I'm in my early 30s maybe.
Okay. Okay.
When I got this book. So you know what you know when you get it. And that's why it's one of those books that you have to sit with wherever you are in that moment
Yeah.
and reflect and heal and learn about the evil that was done to you and the evil that you have done to others.
Thank you. The evil that you've done to others, because we don't even realize that we're doing evil to other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that points out because you remember how he demonstrated the parents. This story got me how the parents gave their son a gun for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
You remember they
Mm-hmm.
gave the son, and the son was so depressed. And when he finally went to therapy, he told the therapist, Dr. Peck, he said, yeah, my parents gave me a gun for my Christmas present or birthday or whatever. And he said, well, every kid wants a gun. Well, it turned out to be the gun that his brother used to kill himself. And the doctor's like, wait, what? He asked the parents, did you even think about what message that was sending to
Of course not. Of course not. A lot of evil is done in such a way. So here's the thing too, is what I'm realizing reading my notes from years ago when I was kind of going through the notes in my book. Evil evolves. So
Yes.
it keeps progressing as long as you stay in it. Just like love evolves and it gets greater as long as you stay in it. It's kind of the same concept. So it keep evolving. So, but if you don't know that you have started, you haven't recognized it, you just keep going about your day in your life doing these things
Yeah.
and being oblivious to the evil that you're spewing. And especially to your kids, if kids are the most vulnerable and you have absolute power right over your children, especially when they're younger,
Yes.
you just keep spewing this thing and not thinking or seeing what you're doing to yourself or to others. So yeah, oh yeah, your brother killed himself with this gun and we're going to give it to you. That sends almost a clear message that you want him to do the same, right?
Yeah. And
Outside
Dr. Peck was
looking
like,
in.
yeah, we got it. This kid, this child cannot live with you for sure. You
Cannot,
have no
yep,
idea. No.
no idea.
Mm-hmm.
No idea at all. But it is, yeah, it
Yeah.
is crazy. The fact, the push back that we do when we know we are evil. So we do a lot of projecting, right? We do a lot of
Mm-hmm.
projecting, and scapegoating.
That's right.
So
Scapegoating was the big
excuses,
one. Mm.
lies, blaming other people. This is, and this is type of things that you're trying to listen to in therapy as well. But reading a book and going through master course, you listen to it even more on a spiritual level as
Yes.
well to see what type of evil people are spewing and to see how addicted they are to evil and the power that it wields them and also the attention that it gets them because evil is very show offy. It likes attention. So it eventually, if you watch people long enough, if they are in it, you'll eventually see it because they're going to want to show it off, even
Wow.
if they can
Because
control it
it's the
for a little
ego.
while.
It's all
It,
ego. Look at me. Look how powerful I am.
mm-hmm, exactly. It
Yes.
will rear its ugly head.
You
Yeah.
know,
And
that
then,
is real good. Go ahead. You got another quote for us?
yeah, so this is about the evil. So he said, revulsion is a powerful emotion that causes us to immediately want to avoid, to escape the revolting presence. Evil is revolting because it is dangerous. It will contaminate or otherwise destroy a person who remains too long in its presence. So we're just trying to avoid and escape. So that's why people have, again, so many addictions, so many,
Yeah.
blame, sympathy games, all of these things that we do instead of healing all stems from our not wanting to love on ourselves.
And you know what? When he talks about evil, is what did he say? Revolt. It gives you a sense of repulsion, right? You want to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You notice that a lot of times we're taught to shut down that instinct because we're raised inside of it. And if when I look at it, it's probably why how people, not just women, but how people end up in abusive relationships because we've suppressed that survival mechanism that says get out.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because that repulsion is what
Exactly.
makes you want to get out. But if you grew up in it, it feels normal.
It's normal. Moo, I've had so many times where I've actually worked with clients who did not realize they were in an abusive or violent
Yes,
home as a
yes,
child or as an adult, but
yes.
especially as a child, because again, a parent's power is absolute.
That's right.
So you don't know that you were in a violent home. You'll hear people say, "Oh, oh, I got whooped. Oh, I had a client like, oh yeah, my dad, I said something he didn't like. He punched me in my face and like my eye, and that's
Wow.
normal, right? Like this is normal."
Yep.
When I ask the question, I always do assessments. Have you ever been abused, sexually,
Yes, yes,
physically?
yes, yes.
And they're like, "Oh no, no, no." And they mean it. No, I've never been abused. And then we're in sessions and we're talking. They're like, "Oh, yeah, but they punched me in the face because I said something he didn't like, and blacked my eye or
And they
broke
don't even put the two together, Qiana.
my."
It's so it's like, oh no, that was over there. Abuse is when somebody else does something to you, but when your parents do it to you, it's that's
It's
punishment.
discipline is love.
Discipline.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I said something they didn't like. Yeah, it does not register as abuse. It does
Wow.
not register as evil.
And it really is. And then imagine, because it doesn't register as evil or abuse. Now you have children or you go into another relationship and you act the same way because you have never looked to see that this is a dangerous way of being.
Yep. And the
And he even
cycle just
says that in the
continues and
book. He
continues.
said, this is a dangerous book because we're going to point out to you how you're evil. Okay. And you may not like that.
You're not gonna like it. That's why you said, well, read it, put it down, pick it up, put it down, get the
Yeah.
dictionary, pick it up. Because of that, because it's gonna show you parts of you. It's gonna show you how you are in relationship. It's gonna show you the abuse that you have taken or dealt with, and that you have dealt out. And that's one of the things. Like I said, I'm on both sides of the parenting, right? I have
Yes.
parents, and I'm also a parent, and so I got to see how I spewed evil to my kids. I
Mm,
got to sit with that. I got to see how I did it inside relationships. I was married 20 years. I
yeah.
got to see how me being an enabler, me thinking, "Oh, I'm helping," was actually me spewing evil.
Yeah.
I had to sit with that.
And that's the part in when in our programming, and we get pushed back when we tell people one of our principles is no rescuing, and they what? But what and it's like no, it's it's not the same. We're saying let people do their work and stop getting in the way. If you keep trying to protect them and make sure this, I say they don't get any work done. And then if something happened to you, they have not developed the strength to take care of themselves because you've always done it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And we don't
And
realize
then
that codependency, that's almost being evil too.
that is exactly what it is, and it definitely is a codependency. And again, it's distraction. So what happens is you become the person, you become the martyr. You become the person, oh my
Yep.
God, I have to do X, Y, and
Yep.
Z because nobody does this and I'm not appreciated and blah, 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 right? You become the martyr, you become, the source for all of the energy vampires. But
Yep. Yep.
you're getting something too until you cut those off, and so you can look inward and say, let me cut these energy vampires off and patch up these holes and do this work so I won't keep spilling out all over the place. Like,
Yeah.
let me see why I'm spewing evil. Let me see why I need what's in me that needs to be healed.
Yeah.
And until you do that, like, it's just you'll keep having those same type of relationships, and it'll get worse, progressively worse and worse. And you will spew, evil, and then it'll get spewed back to you.
I was just I'm starting to take on a lot more older clients, and it's so interesting how
Mm.
many people are living inside of their life to be over. And what I realize is that they have not taken on their life purpose or their mission. So they thought they were here
Mm.
just passing time. And then when I get 60, I start, no, oh, actually, not really.
Yeah.
It's like, what did you come here for? And some of them are just now starting to look and see, oh, what did I come here for? But when we actually look even closer, they never even looked at those places in their childhood where they were suppressed because they
Hmm.
grew up in evil environments where they were told they were one thing or this, and they believed it their entire 70, 80 years of life.
Yes. Yes. Even aging, right? Like,
Yeah,
the whole concept of you have to age, you have to look a certain way, you have to do a certain thing. Like, you can't, like, no, you could be 80, look great, feel great,
and
body
do what you
healthy,
want to
mind
do,
healthy,
hang
do what
out.
you want
That's
to
right.
do.
Yes.
Yeah, do what you want to do. Like, we really bought into this system that was created, and it's getting busted up because it's old, it's archaic, it's not
It's not
working,
the truth. That's right.
it's
We
not
we
at all. And so now it's time to really heal the human evil in us so that we can heal the world. And
that's
that's
right.
really how you do it. You have to
That's
do
right.
it within yourself.
Yeah. And when we start actually looking at the world for what it is, because it again is so much evil happening to children, and it's still so many people ignoring it, acting, oh, I can't see that. I can't look at that. That's another way of not dealing with your work. We're here to actually look and see and make a difference.
Yeah,
However you choose
exactly.
to do it. Right. All
Yeah.
right. You got
And
another quote for us? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, because one of the things I always say is love heals everything. And he says that a lot in this book. I wrote the page number now. I can go right to it.
Okay.
He says that a lot in here about, love, like, we doing love, like, okay. He says, but the greatest safeguard is love. Only with love can practitioners be sure to keep the patient's best interest in mind at all times and be certain of resisting the omnipresent human tendency to become unscrupulous and enamored with power. Indeed, in all serious cases, more is required than knowledge and skill. It's only love that can heal. That's
Wow.
it. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. And it's like, so even in doing the work and helping others, like, you could be very knowledgeable and read all the books and do all the things and have all the certificates and licensures and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's love that's going to help your clients, and it's going to keep you grounded and not thinking like you're doing something. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you got some knowledge and that's wonderful and great. But
Yeah.
the love that you show your client, your friends, your family, your loved ones, strangers,
Mm-hmm.
that's what's going to heal.
That's what's going to
Love heals everything.
Yes, that is so wonderful. That's a wonderful way to end, to put the cap on that book, because if we're talking about the hope for healing human evil, love has to be in the forefront. It has to be, because there's so much that we have to witness, right? And in that witnessing and observing, if we judge it, we miss the opportunity to love.
Exactly. Exactly, Mo.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Qiana. Tell people how they can get in touch with you. Tell them what special, exciting things you have going on. Are you popping those cards? When and where?
Yes, yes, yes. We are all over social media. So Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and YouTube, all under Evolve with Qiana. You can find me on all of them under the same name. Um, Facebook, I go live, TikTok, I go live, and YouTube, I go live. So you can catch all type of videos, card readings, everything. There, my website is www.evolvewithkiana.com for services, card readings, and coaching.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm sure I will see you. We have so many things that we're connected to. So I'll be seeing you out there, right?
Yes, well, thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing this book. And if you guys are listening and you're challenged in your reading of this book, I really want to encourage you to reach out to Qiana and any of the Master Force coaches, because many of them did take this book on as one of their personal projects, because it was that deep for us, right? So, and then the rest of you, I want to invite you back next week where we will be reading another book, because why? Master Force coaches, we love to read. Okay. See you next time. Thank you for joining us. Good night.